प्रतिबद्धं तत्परोक्षावभासिते करामलकवद्बोधमपरोक्षं प्रसूयते So the Parama Prayojanam, the ultimate result of this Samadhi. So it destroys the Vasana Jala totally, when it is destroyed. Papa Punya Karma Sanchaya destroyed. If at all there are any Pratibandhakas which are obstructing the knowledge and therefore Aparoksha is not there, Paroksha is there. So those Pratibandhakas are destroyed and whatever the Paroksha Jnana that was there becomes Aparoksha Jnana. Vakyam apratibandham sat. Vakya means Mahavakya, which was analyzed, etc. Apratibandham sat, being free from the pratibandhakas. We have seen pratibandhakas in terms of preoccupation, the karma, ahankara, so all. You see, even a person who has an antakarana shuddhi, and if he has got the shraddha and the shastra, all of a sudden may not dare to give up the karma, because the sanskaras are such that he may think that, oh, if I give up karma, what will happen, etc. I may be doing something wrong, etc. Of course, Shastra themselves give a permission to this person to take the Vividisha sannyasa, wherein he can give up the karma. But the human mind being what it is, it may hesitate to give up such a thing because he was doing all along to this effect. So now here, so now that the preoccupation, the karma, etc. is no more there. So ahankara, mamakara and all the effects in terms of kartrutva, bhoktrutva, all are totally gone, which were obstructing the clear appreciation of oneself hitherto. So therefore, whatever the hindrances were there, they are gone now. So therefore, the paroksha jnana, whatever that is bhasite tatvi, so that the appreciation of knowledge of oneself in terms of paroksha means Brahma is there. This is like this, etc. So that same thing will be karamalakavat, like the amalaka on the kara, like the berry on the palm. It is an example to show that how it is accomplished thing. See how much effort is necessary to eat the berry on your palm. Suppose the berry is on the tree, you have to pluck it, etc. and then get it. You may get it or you may not get it. But it is already on your palm, so that means it is so well accomplished. So it is at your disposal for your eating, etc. So like that, so it is so clear, evident and accomplished for this person. So karamalakvat, like the berry on the palm. So aparoksham bodham, aparoksham bodham prasuyate. Aparoksham bodham, bodham is jnanam. So aparoksham jnanam prasuyate. Prasuyate janayati. Janayati, it creates. In the sense, if at all any pratibandhakas were there in his earlier knowledge, they are cleared off by the upadini, and vagueness, etc. is totally removed. The knowledge becomes totally firm and clear. So one thing also here to look at, one point is that whether he takes to vividhyasana after giving aparoksha jnana or paroksha jnana, because that is in the stanzas it is not very clear as such. See, actually vividhyasana is after aparoksha jnana. Why do you take vividhyasana? To get rid of the deha tadatmya which is habitually continuing that. Here what he has said is vakyam prak parokshava tatve, means he had not got the aparoksha jnana. What he had was only paroksha jnana. He took to samadhi and the paroksha jnana became aparoksha jnana. Actually that is the way he has put it that way. So it can be because elsewhere, maybe his way of presenting the sense, in some other chapter he is going to, he presents what is called as Nirguna Brahma Upasana. Where there he says, since the person has got the paroksha jnana, because Shraddhavan Purusha, aparoksha jnana is not there, but some pratibandhakas are there, and just like upasana he takes. Upasana, you take the upasya daivata. So like that, certain Vedas, certain vakyas, mahavakyas of the Upanishad, he takes upasana, and thereafter what happens there? So that pratibandhakas get rid of, and then that becomes aparoksha. More or less you can take it as what we call, Swamiji puts it as tube-light philosophy. Now this is not tube-light philosophy. Tube-light philosophy means the current was there, the switch was on, yet the tube light didn't get clicked. Why? somewhere in the choke or some obstruction was there. After 5 minutes of switching, it flashed. It means what? Not that it was put on at that time. It was put on earlier. Because of some obstruction it didn't split. So also, earlier he had already exposed to Shravana, some Pratibandhakas were there. This particular that means practice of, that means practice is taking the Nididhyasana and Samadhi, helped him to get rid of that, but that way we have to take it up. Otherwise actually Aparoksha Jnana, clarity is there, and so that means to get rid of course, habitual error you have to take to Nididhyasana, culminating into the Samadhi. So for him it becomes so readily accomplished, like the berry on the palm, Aparoksham Prasuyate, it gives Aparoksha Jnana. Now just to praise this knowledge, look, even the Paroksha Jnana is so great, what to speak of Aparoksha Jnana. So that is so. First, the result on account of Paroksha Jnana is given. Thereafter, what is the result of Aparoksha Jnana? Paroksham Brahma Vijnanam Shabdam Deshika Purvakam Buddhi Purvakrutam Papam Kritsnam Dahati Vannivat Deshika Purvakam Shabdam Paroksham Brahma Vijnanam Buddhi Purvakrutam Kritsnam Papam Vannivaddhati. This is what Paroksha Jnana can accomplish. So the Paroksham Brahma Vijnanam. So the Paroksha Jnana of Brahma. What is exactly? Brahma Asti. If it is Aparoksha, Brahma Asmi. You need not say Aham. Brahma Asmi will take care of it. Okay, Aham Brahma Asmi will do it. So Brahma Asmi, I am Brahma. That is what Aparoksha means. That is Aparoksha means proper discovery, that appreciation. So that is Aparoksha. Brahma Asti. And also Shastra says that I am not different from that Brahma. The person has got Shraddha in the Shastra. The Astika Buddhi, Shraddha in the Shastra is there. So that Paroksha Jnana. And Paroksha Jnana will motivate him to take the further pursuit of making it as Aparoksha Jnana. Because without that the prompting will not be there. So therefore, because he has got Paroksha Jnana. From where did he get it? Deshika Purvam Shabdam Paroksha Brahma Vijnana. Paroksham Brahma Vijnana. Which has been gained Deshika Purvakam. Deshikaha Purvaha Yasya Tat. That Jnana for which Deshikaha Purvam. Purvaha. Purvaha means here cause. The knowledge for which the cause is Deshikaha. Who is the Dishati iti Deshika? Who is the Guru? So Deshika is the Guru. The knowledge for which the cause is Guru means the knowledge which has been gained through the Guru means by proper Shravana, through the teaching of a right type of master. So Deshika Purvakam means under other words we can put it that Guru Upadishtam, Guruna Upadishtam or Guru Mukhat Upalabdham. So which has been gained through the teaching. Mukhat means from the mouth, means from the teaching of the right type of master. So that's Deshika Purvakam. Shabdam Paroksham Brahma Vijnanam. Shabdam, which is Shabda Janyam, born of the Shabda. What is Shabda? Tattvamasya Mahavakya. So Shabdam means Tattvamasya Mahavakya Janyam, born of the Mahavakyas like Tattvamasya. Means Siddha Shruti only, which has been gained, but as taught by the teacher. Means it takes account of both things. As Shastrajñopi Swatantrena Brahmanveshanam na kurya. So even a Shastrajña should not investigate in the nature of Brahma without the Guru. At the same time, Guru has no license to speak something of his own as such. He has to take the help of the Shastra. Shankaracharya puts both together. When he speaks of Guru, he brings Shastra. When he speaks of Shastra, he brings the Guru. Both should go together. So therefore, otherwise, one to the exclusion of other is not desirable. So, that Shabdam, Paroksham Brahma Vijnanam, that knowledge is Paroksha, that Brahma etc. is there, and it is said that it is my nature etc. That way, though he has not discovered of his own that his real nature is not different from Brahma, what does it do? It is Buddhi Purva Kritam Krishnam Papam Vannivadhati. That Paroksha Jnana, so totally destroys the papas. What type of papas? The papas of this variety. Buddhi Purva Kritam Krishnam Papam. Krishnam Papam, all papas. The papas, Buddhi Purva Kritam. Buddhi Purva Kritam means done knowingly, deliberately. Deliberately in the sense, the person knows that this act is prohibited by the Shastra. This karma is bound to give the papa. See, there is a possibility of doing something where the person doesn't know that it is the one which can give the papa. But he knows Shastras that this should not be done. This is prohibited, nishiddha. So he knows that. And yet he has done it. That buddhi purakritam means deliberately done, knowingly, that means done knowing very well that it is a papa. So that is buddhi purakritam papa. Because, see, their intensity is more. One may do a papa not knowing it, but here the person knows positively it is a papa and yet he has done. So buddhi purakritam papam, and not one or two. Kritnam, entirely, means all such papas, vannivadhati, it destroys like the fire. Means, if paroksha jnana is capable of doing the papas which are perpetrated knowing fully well they are so, it shows that how commendable is the inquiry into the nature of Brahma. I think Swamiji must have already told you. Even at the end of 3 years course, if we have not got anything, two things are very certain in Vedanta. One is colossal punya, lot of punya. Other thing is an analytical mind. The Vedanta means analysis. It is seeing the pros and cons of a thing. An analytical mind and punya, these two are certainly guaranteed. Aparoksha jnana etc. Bhagavan knows. We don't know. Guru also may not know. Swamiji also may not know. He will give all opportunities, that's all. That best opportunity he will provide you. But what is there, it is left to each and every individual effort. There is nothing like that, no. The moment the aparoksha jnana takes place, the eyes start radiating or some flickering, big, such signals are given. Then it's very easy. Who has got that, or some aura comes around the head, etc. Wherever he goes, light and light only. Night you need not switch on the light at all. So Atma Jnana ho gaya hai. So such things, if they are there, that's a different thing. But unfortunately, such things are not available as such. So it is a subjective thing. The Guru also may give the benefit of doubt because he has done his job very clean. So therefore, at least he can have the satisfaction that I have done my job thoroughly. So like that, he will say that he has no, that means, measures to verify all these things. It is left to us. It is left to us to make best use of the opportunities that are provided. So therefore, so that is the way. So it is such a commendable thing as such. So that is the, even inquiry in the Shravan itself, so that is so great, it is going to give the punya. That's why you see, once the Vedantic Shravana is taken to, the person surpasses all the punyas that are capable of being earned by the karma kanda. Shabda Brahmati vartate. What is Shabda Brahma? Karma kanda. He surpasses the karma kanda. That is the greatness of the, no, that is the Brahma, and even the inquiry into the Brahma, keep aside the actual aparoksha jnana. So that is what, how great it is. It should not be taken so lightly. So, buddhi purakritam papam krishnam vannivadhati. So like the fire, it totally destroys. This is the result one can gain from the paroksha jnana. So the second now, what is the result of aparoksha jnana? That the moksha, total destruction of ignorance, and the consequent moksha, that is what the result of aparoksha jnana. Aparokshatma vijnanam shabdam desika purvakam. Samsara karana jnana tamasaschanda bhaskaraha. Shabdam desika purvakam aparokshatma vijnanam samsara karana jnana tamasaha chanda bhaskaraha bhavati. Aparoksha jnana is like this. And what first, let us see, what is that, which aparoksha jnana it is? Shabdam. Shabdam means gained through the Mahavakya. Shabdajanyam. So Saptamasya adi, yes, Agamajanyam, Mahavakya janyam. Okay, not only that, equally Deshika Purvakam. Earlier was from whom? Deshika Purvakam. This also is from Deshika Purvakam. But it is Aparoksha Atma Vijnana. But that knowledge is about the Atma Vijnana. The Vijnana, knowledge, Vihai Vijnana is Samsaya Viparya Rahitam. That which is free from Samsaya, the doubt, Viparya, habitual errors, free from both these. So Vijnanam. So about whom? Of Atma, which is Aparoksha. Now what, you see, look at, earlier also knowledge was Shabdajanya. This knowledge also is Shabdajanya. Earlier also it was Deshika Purvakam. This knowledge also is Deshika Purvakam. Then what makes the difference between the Paroksha Jnana and Aparoksha Jnana? Why there is Paroksha Jnana and here Aparoksha Jnana? I think that Deshika Purvakam, that Guru must have differentiated, I think. There he held a little back and here he gives us. Just chosen people, give them the total. There he little kept with him. Adhikaritva of the teacher. Pratibandhakas. What are the Pratibandhakas are there? See, the teaching is the same in either case, based on the Shabda, based on the Shruti, Shabda, and same master is given. But in certain cases it is Paroksha, in other cases it is Aparoksha. The difference lies there. In the receiving set. Not the transmission, not the transmission station, but the receiving set. See, the radios, All India Radio will broadcast the same thing, or Doordarshan, they will telecast the same thing. But if there is some difference in the whatever reception, that is attributed to the receiving set, whether the radio or the television set. So like that, so it depends on the maturity and how much pratibandhakas that the seeker has got in himself. So based on that, it can be paroksha or aparoksha. So therefore, now here in this case, where aparoksha jnana has taken place, pratibandhakas are not there. So there are no obstructions as such. So that being the case, he gets directly the aparoksha jnana. So that aparoksha vijnanam, so what does it do? It is like this. It is like, figuratively expressed as, Samsara karana jnana tamasaha chanda bhaskaraha. That knowledge is like a chanda bhaskaraha. Who chanda bhaskara means? Sun. Chanda bhaskaraha means the madhyana kalina suryaha. The blazing midday sun. So how scorching he is. No, that means darkness can survive in front of the blazing midday sun. So also, now what is the darkness here? The darkness here is the ajnana, ignorance. Which ignorance? Not our ignorance. You say no, ignorance is bliss, not that ignorance. The ignorance which is samsara karanam. So this is the very cause of samsara. So that means that aparoksha jnana is like the blazing sun to the darkness of the ignorance which causes the samsara. In other words, that aparoksha jnana totally destroys the ignorance of oneself, which is the cause of samsara. Means no trace of ignorance is left out, and therefore the person is, when the ajnana is destroyed, what is the result? Muktaha. That person is liberated. He is totally liberated. There is nothing can make that is bind him as such. So this is what it is. Aparoksha jnana directly gives the moksha because the ignorance is totally destroyed. Samula, this is the mula because the samsara mula is in the ignorance. So therefore, there is the paroksha jnana. Paroksha jnana destroys the buddhi purvaka, the prapa means. To that extent his pratibandhakas are gone. He has to put forth further effort to make it aparoksha. So therefore still further pratibandhakas are there. He has to get rid of. So this is what the greatness of this aparoksha jnana. So with this, the author is going to conclude the text, giving the result of the sadphala that can be gained by the study of this particular text, the first chapter of Panchadasi. So that is, earlier he had already made a statement. So that is, Sukhabodhaya tattvasya vivekoyam vidhiyate. For easy understanding, here I am entering into the discrimination of the tattvasya viveka. Tattva viveka is the real nature of oneself. So now I have done it, and this is the result of the study of this particular chapter. Ittham tattva vivekam vidhaya, ittham tattva vivekam vidhaya, vidhivan manas samadhaya, vigalita samsruti bandha prapnoti, param padam naro na chirat, Naraha, this human being, Itham Tattvavekam Vidhaya. Itham Tattvavekam Vidhaya. Tasmin Vidhivat Manaha Samadhaya. Tasmin you can add there. Tasmin Vidhivat Manaha Samadhaya. Vigalita Sanskriti Bandhaha Param Padam Nachirat Prapnoti. Param Padam Nachirat Prapnoti. Naraha. Naraha, whoever he may be, any human being. There are no qualifications. That person must be from India only. He should be man or woman only. Or he should know Sanskrit only. So like that is not there. But there are qualifications. What are those qualifications? Sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. These are not whether a man, woman, etc. nationality, that doesn't count. But sadhana chatushtaya sampatti, whether Brahmana, Vaishya, Shudra, etc. that also doesn't count there. No. But sadhana chatushtaya sampatti you can't. That means deny that. So therefore, so sadhana chatushtaya sampatti and the right antakarana should be. All these are taken for granted. That type of naraha. Itham tattvavekam vidhaya. Vidhaya krutva. Having taken to viveka, discrimination, into what? Tattvaveka, tattvasya viveka. How? Means in the real nature of oneself. Itham, in this manner, in the manner that was unfolded here. What was that? Panchakosha viveka, with the help of the Anvaya Yatireka method as adopted here. So therefore, itham means as in the manner that was told earlier, unfolded earlier. So with the help, yes. Tattvavekam, viveka, that inquiring tattva. Tattva means Brahma, Brahmatma Aikya. So intermediary identity of Jiva and Brahma, Jiveshwara Aikya. So in that having conducted inquiry as Kosha Panchaka Vivechanam Vidhaya. So having done the discrimination means having shifted the Atma from the Panchakosha. Why it has to be done? Because Tattanmayaha Bhavati. That Atma appears as though one with the Panchakoshas, and the Panchakoshas are mistaken as the I by proper discrimination, proper shifting of that. So Tattva Vidhaya, wherein Anvayavatirika method also was used. Vidhaya Krutva. Thereafterwards, Tasmin means Tasmin Tattvaveka means in that knowledge, so gained by the proper inquiry. So Vidhivat Manaha Samadhaya. Manas Samadhaya. Samadhaya means Sirikritya. Having made the mind abiding in that, having made the mind absorbed in that, having composed the mind in the appreciation of this tattva. So how? Vidhivat. What is that Vidhivat? As per the Vidhi. As per the Vidhi means first take to Shravana Manana over. Then you have to take to Vidhyasana. Thereafterwards, continue Vidhyasana so that you can, in course of time, by the very momentum of the Vidhyasana, eliminate the Dhyata and the Dhyana, and thereby give the preoccupation Dhyayika Gocharatam. That Vidhivat is taking to Vidhyasana, eliminating the Dhyata and the Dhyana. What remains is Dhyayika Gochara, Vritti alone remains. That is what Vidhivat. So in the manner it was described. So giving the only one preoccupation of the Dhyaya, thereby what happens? Thereby this person Naraha Vigalita Sanskriti Bandhaha. The one who is Sanskriti Bandha, that means the bondage of samsara. That means bondage of samsara means bondage itself is samsara. So therefore bondage of samsara. So Vigalitaha, the one who has totally destroyed Nivrutta Samsara Bandhasan, the one who has got totally freed from this bondage of samsara, Vigalita Sanskriti Bandhaha, that Naraha Parampadam, the Parampadam, the state which is Param, Desha Kala Vasva Parichinnam. So free from all the limitation means Brahma, the state of Brahma. So Prapnoti, he gains, he accomplishes when Na Sira, without any delay, ere long. Why not he specify that after a week or 1 month, or at least let us not be that in a hurry, 3 years, guarantee, contract, 3 years So you will be, because it has Samskriti Bandha, why not? You can't say. Because it depends on many factors. Many factors like the first, that is the adhikaritva. To what degree the seeker enjoys the adhikaritva. Then pratibandhakas, we don't know what load the fellow has brought from the past life. We don't know. So therefore, how many obstructions are there, pratibandhakas? These are that which we don't know. So, but one thing is sure, that if these are accomplished, so that is tattva, in the manner prescribed, the tattva viveka is taken to, so vidhivat manas samadhana is taken place. Thereafter, there is no reason why there should be delay. One thing can be assured, that ere long, without much delay, the person is bound to gain the param brahma, means his mind is bound to get absorbed in the knowledge of oneself. So because the varying factors are Shraddha, Adhikaritva and the Pratibandhaka. We don't know. Shraddha may be there. Shraddha also is varying degrees. Don't think that Shraddha is what something constant. There is varying degrees. Shraddha can be there. So all these are variable factors. That means even the master, however great he may be, he may not be able to tell, pinpoint definitely, but certainly the assurance can be given. There should not be any inordinate delay. No, because, and also there is no reason why one should get discouraged also or despaired also, because this is not a thing which you do something, at the end of the thing you get the result, like that means the agriculture. You do so many things, at the end you get the harvest, but there are many ifs and buts. You have to keep your fingers crossed. There may be ativrishti, anavrishti, or the harvest is ready and you are going to take it after a week, etc. And just 2 days earlier what happened? You have taken care of that. It's many ifs and buts, that means that many factors are there. So we can't say. It is not like that. You do something, at the end of that the result is going to come. Actually, all along the knowledge is there. The only difference is degree of pratibandhaka. So as and when the pratibandhakas go, the knowledge becomes more and more clear. It is not suddenly the result is going to come. No, not that. From Paroksha Jnana onwards, he knows something. But only the pratibandhakas go on vanishing because of his further and further, more and more effort. Therefore, the pursuit itself is all along rewarding. Otherwise, ayyo, I have to do this. And there is, I think you must have known that story. It says, Narada was going to Vaikuntha. On the way, he saw a yogi sitting in content. That is what meditation. And according to whatever it is, we don't know what meditation it was. See, all that we can say is close the eyes only. What inside the fellow is doing, who knows? Except Bhagavan, we don't know. But he was sitting for meditation there. And Narada was going, Narayana, Narayana. He heard the sound. He opened his eyes. Oh, Narada, he was very happy. Bhagavan, where are you going? That's my usual visit to Vaikuntha, he said. Can you do me a favor? What is that? See, you are going to Vaikuntha. See, you please ask Vishnu, Lord Vishnu, when I am going to get liberated. Oh, that much? I will certainly do. Why I should ask Vishnu? All files will be at my disposal. I can keep in your file and I can certainly tell you, sir. He said, when he was going ahead, see, there was a bhakta. He was just lost in the meditation or in the thought of the Lord. He also heard this Narayan, Narayan. He said, oh, such a great opportunity. He said, he prostrated him. Where are you going? He said, I am going to Vaikuntha. He said, that is the case. Can you please do me a favor? What is that? Please ask Bhagavan when I am going to liberate. Oh, surely, I have already got another case with me. So there is no, the 2 cases will make a big load for me. So I will certainly do it. Sir. He went there. He neither asked Vishnu nor kept in the fire. He returned. Now who is the first one to come? The bhakta should come first. He circumvented him. So therefore he went to yogi first. And he said, the yogi said, he was waiting for Narada's return yourself. So the yogi asked, did you ask Bhagavan? Yes, I know. He said, the Lord has told that you will get liberated after 4 janmas. After 4 births. My God, all along so many years I am doing this tapas, this yoga I am practicing, and still further 4 lives I have to spend. I think Bhagavan is not that kind enough as we thought earlier. So he said, look, I can't help you. That is what this is, 4 births, 4 janmas births you have to take. So he just proceeded. he happened to come to the other person as well. So he was asked, so what did you find? He said, look, you know this tamarind tree under which you are sitting, etc., and that they are taking the name of the Lord and singing of the Lord. So how many leaves it can have? The Lord has said, you will have to take those many numbers of birds, as many as the leaves on this tamarind tree. Bondage. He said, yes, Narada, they may be many, but won't you agree for one thing? They are definite in number. Are they limitless? Maybe I am not able to count them, but they have got a definite number. After that, certainly I am going to get liberated. I don't know why. For him, the seeking pursuit was not a problem. Itself was a joy. Don't say compare. Oh, yoga is inferior and bhakti is superior. Not from that standpoint. The attitude, that outlook of the person. Narada said, Sunny, you are liberated right now. You need not wait. You are already full and complete. That is what it is. So, the pursuit itself is what? Rewarding. So that is not that afterwards you get something, etc. Of course, little readiness of the mind must be there, keeping must be proper, vision must be clearer and clearer, etc. That itself is the reward. So how long or what after 3 years? I think it may be bogging in the mind of many people. What next? After 3 years, here everything is okay, fine, everything is carried. What, you see, some may be planning from now onwards itself. So what is to be done after the 3 years, etc. These can't be decided. Be full and complete, and afterwards what spills over, share with others. That will be rewarding as such. You did not plan and scheme about to that effect as such. So that being the case. So that being the case. So this is what is there is no question of the path is tedious, and if at all we don't know whether the goal is going to be accomplished or not. Nothing like that. So that means the joy is in the very path itself. So nachirat, ere long the perspective is, that means he is going to do that. Assurance is there. Whether Gita or anywhere, it is given. We can't say definite period as such, it is not there. And there is no matter for concern also. Nachirat, he gains param padam prapnoti. After what? After getting param padam, what is to be done further? The question can arise only because the fellow doesn't know what is param padam. First to get param padam, there is nothing what next will not come at all. Of course, if that readiness is not there, take to that. As per our Shastra, there is no hopeless case at all. So we have got a wide spectrum of sadhanas to prepare the mind, suiting to each and a specific remedy in terms of sadhana, suiting to each and every individual case. If Valmiki can have a remedy for his, what was Valmiki earlier? Can anybody be as bad as him? That Luther, that right? Can it be? If he has a method, a way to come out of his status and becomes a great sage like Valmiki, such a Jnani as such, we can certainly say that we are little better off than him, and we have certainly Shastra has got a remedy. Maybe we don't have the Antakarana Shuddhi, maybe possibly, we may not have, but it is not a hopeless case at all. There is a way out, better diagnose and take to the appropriate remedial measure. There is nothing to be despaired as such as well. So, but nachirat, ere long, without delay, the success has to be the param padam apnoti. So with this, Viveka is over. Okay. Just a few words, just to share with you that. I had come earlier, in January, if some of you remember, I saw Soyam, okay, Soyam Shuddhananda, Shuddhabodhananda, okay, that's all. It's not a different person. At that time, I just had shared with you few words about Antakarana Shuddhi. I had narrated an incident. I hope some of you may remember. Sir, the girder is not moving. The diagnosis was, alignment is wrong. No, sir, we have verified it. I tell you what? Alignment is wrong. Go and correct. That was the diagnosis for the non-moving of the girder. Means the sense, in spite of Shravana, if the aparoksha jnana is not there, it only means that certain adjustments are necessary in terms of our antakaran. This is what I told. A few other thoughts I would like to share with you, because human nature being what it is universal. It is not that it is for you or me or anything like that. It is common with all aspects. In that context, I would like to share other few thoughts also in the sense. See, the nature of the human mind is such that if it gets something very precious, without sweating and toiling, without paying the price of it, without much trouble, etc., it is more often than not, it is apt to lose the value of it. Not deliberately, it is the nature of the human mind. But if the fellow has to struggle hard, he has to sweat and toil to accomplish that, oh, it is so great, etc. Both the cases, the thing he accomplishes is one and the same, but it appears to be so precious, etc. In the other case also it is precious, but he loses the value because he got just like that. It happened in the case of none other than Arjuna himself. Arjuna got the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita in the battlefield, just like that. He asked and he got it. Of course, he did desire, otherwise Lord Krishna would not have given him. But at that time when he asked, he just got it. He did not have to, he had not the necessity for him to go to some ashrams, etc., serve there, etc. Nothing was that. He got it. Mahabharata was over. And one fine afternoon, Arjuna asked, Bhagavan, you told me some nice things on the battlefront. Can you once more please, why not repeat it? So in the din and roar of that and my preoccupation of this thing, it all vanished now from my mind. Lord Krishna literally rebuked him. Arjuna, I never thought that you are such a useless fellow, faithless fellow. See, I had the thing, don't think I am a cassette player, you can switch on and switch off and ask me to play it again. That I can't do. But being who Arjuna was because of the intimacy, anyway I will tell you a few things. So therefore, we had given him Adhyatma Upadesha in terms of stories, etc., but not exactly what was taught in the Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Why, what happened? The intimacy with Lord Krishna, of course, not that Arjuna took for granted Lord Krishna, but somehow that he got it just like that, he didn't realize the worth of it. So like this, today, you have been provided with a setup, an environment of the ashram where the teaching is available. But human mind being what it is, one may take the setup and the teaching for granted. In English what they say? Familiarity breeds contempt. In this context, there may not be a contempt as such, but we may take it for granted as such. In Sanskrit there is a subhashita. Yes, a subhashita means a saying. It says, Santatagamanaad anadaro bhavati malaye bhilla purandri chandanadaru kashtam indhanam kurute. So he says, before that, you know what are subhashitas? Sushtu bhashitani subhashitani. Well said, means some piece of advice, something useful things are there, very nice, some great contribution to the literature of Sanskrit. In the olden days, from the childhood, from the secondary school, higher secondary school, we have been given some subhashitas, and they help us a lot in the broader outlook of life, etc. It is not that everything is adhyatma, etc., but the ways and means of life, etc., are very useful. Santata gamanad anadaro bhavati. By santata gamana, by frequent coming, etc., means by free acquaintance, anadaraha bhavati. There is a lack of respect. How? Malaye bhilla purandri chandanataru kashtam indhanam kurute. Malaya is a parvata where the sandalwood plantation grows. Is it Nilgiri sandalwood plantation is there? No, is it there? Nilgiri, Mysore, acha. So Malaya Parvata is a particular place where actually that Parvata where the sandalwood plantation is there is plenty. So they say, Malaye Bhilla Purandri. Purandri means a woman. Which woman? Bhilla, belongs to the Bhilla tribe. Bhilla is a tribal people. You know, something they do, they come with us. You know, of course, we have seen those people. They come to they wear so many beads, etc., etc. Okay, they are a particular tribal people. Now this tribal woman, Bhilla Purandri, Chandanataru Kashtam Indhanam Kurute. That means the wood, the twigs and the wood of the sandalwood, what does it say? Chandanataru kasham, of that means the wood of the sandalwood tree, indhanam kurute, she makes as a daily fuel for her daily cooking. You know how costly sandalwood piece, small piece will cost so much of this thing. It's used only for the big cremation of big fellows. Generally, otherwise also for puja etc. is very costly. Now, for this lady, Bhill lady, for her, it is just nothing. Do you know why? She is always around this tree, that's why she takes this for granted. It's just like that. Suppose a gentleman staying in Coimbatore has got 3 sons-in-law. The first son-in-law is in Coimbatore only. The second son-in-law is Delhi. The third son-in-law is New York. Now all of them come at one time or other, but the son-in-law who is at Coimbatore, every other day he is in the home. So therefore what? The fellow is taken for granted. Not that there is any disrespect for him or there is lack of love for him, but the fellow is taken for granted because every other day he is here. But when the son-in-law from Delhi comes, once in 2 years or 3 years, it is an occasion for them to rejoice. When he comes there, etc. It's a happy, that means the event for them, etc. But when the son-in-law from New York comes after 6 years or 7 years, it is a great festive occasion. Right? It doesn't mean that they have no love for the one who is at Coimbatore. So they have, but the fellow is taken for granted because every other day he is. Like that, the teaching and the ashram setup, which you are longing for so many years. Now what has happened? Abba! What has happened? Got it. But the human nature is mistake the means for the end. The teaching that you receive is supposed to give the aparoksha jnana. The teacher all along the 3 years will certainly do his best. But adhikarita etc. he can't do much. Of course, he will give guidance etc. But final application is based on, that means how much we apply ourselves in accordance with the instructions that are given. So nothing much can be done. The ashram setup, ashram quiet and peaceful, but we have to make the ashram quiet and peaceful ashram. There are enough avenues to create disturbance in the quiet and peaceful ashram. Not that I don't say that you have to shout etc. etc. There are enough avenues to flood the mind with the disturbances. What can be done? That means it will not be rewarding as it should be. So therefore it is left to us to make use of these opportunities that are given in such a profuse manner to derive the maximum result out of that. In this context, one particular thing is required is what is called as, Swamiji has told us, he must have told you, and he is going to tell you also in future, because I also just let me share that I find it is very important as such as far as the pursuit is concerned. So that is nothing other than Vak Tapas. Vak, very, very important. This Vak, it is twofold it is, you know that. It is both sense organ and also organ of action. With the tongue to taste and also to speak. It is desirable to have certain, at least if though not control, at least some moderation. Because one thing is very, very essential for this pursuit. In terms, that is the right frame of mind, a composed mind, a calm mind, a serene mind. Because finally what are you going to appreciate? What are you going to appreciate with all the studies of Vedanta? Me, Atma, what is nature? A miracle Pasak has seen, which is Ananda Swarupa. Means, in other words, in the common parlance, it is Shanta Swarupa, is it not? Sorrow means what? Vrittis, Vikshepa, etc. It's Shanta Swarupa. If Shanta Swarupa I, the Ananda Swarupa I is to be appreciated, that mind which appreciates should necessarily be, though not totally Shanta, relatively it should be Shanta. It should be truth. Otherwise what will happen? A Shanta mind plus Shanta Swarupa Atma is equal to what type of Atma? A Shanta Atma. Is it not? That is what it is going to bear. it is faithfully going to reflect on the accomplishment of it, which is necessary. So therefore, such vak tapas, either you have heard it or you will hear from Swamiji. In meditation, Swamiji always says in the beginning, to be in silence is the first step in meditation. That also is the last step in meditation with difference. In between, there are many things to be done. I don't know whether you already it has come across or it is going to come one day or other. Swami is bound to take it. To be in silence is the first step in meditation. That is verily the last step in meditation with difference. Mind that. What is the difference? Fortify that silence with aparoksha jnana, for which lot of things are to be done in between. Shravana, manana, and taking to Vidhyasana. And to be Shravana to be effective, sadhana chatusha sampatti, against the antakarana shuddhi, amanyata, etc. And all these things, the peaceful state of mind, all these are necessary. So therefore, if that is not taken into account, and even if so we expose to Shravana, it will be as good as taking the sure medicine for a particular disease without caring to take into account the restriction on diet. Especially in Ayurveda, you take the medicine, at the same time you follow the patya. That means the restriction on the diet. Vedanta is that twofold. The inquiry Shravana should be supplemented by the patya. The patya is varying in the ranges, starting from the adhikaritva in terms of viveka, vairagya, etc. Finally, that peaceful disposition of the mind. What do you mean by Shuddhantakarana? What is Shuddhantakarana? Is it not what you call as pure Antakarana? What do you mean by pure mind? Is it a mind which is free from soap and Dettol, etc.? Is this? What is meant by that? Calm and composed, non-reacting mind where the likes and dislikes are neutralized. Is it not? Means it should be calm and composed. If that mind is flooded with certain, that means even talking is bound. Other day I said, talking means what? We are talking about the vikalpa. It is bound to bring the vikalpas. How can that mind will be at least capable enough to take to such contemplation? That is a very, very important thing. Otherwise, we are not taking into account the other aspect, the patya aspect. At times it happens. The fellow takes the medicine but doesn't care for the patya. There are other Mahabhagas also. They take to patya but no medicine. Either case it is not going to work. Shravana, etc. must be completely supplemented with disposition of the mind. So it is left to us to think in the right perspective and take to the appropriate remedial measure so that the teaching should not go waste. We should not be the familiarity so much that we take the teaching for the granted, we take the shastra for the granted, we take the ashram for the granted, and at the end what will happen? Vedanta itself will be taken for granted. Vedanta, I already have gone through that. What is that? It speaks about Jiva, Brahma, Aikya, and some Viveka, Vairagya, and some Antakarana, you should get it, and that's okay. It will be like, a travel agent. He will guide you all along how to go anywhere, etc. In any nook and corner of the world, but himself has not boarded a plane so far. So like that it can be. It's not going to help us, but of course, with that we have to go further. Such a thing is like observing the silence, etc. All these things. So again, silence is not only at that vak level. It should generate at the mental level, but to begin with here, it is just like if one is not able to have that peaceful disposition of mind, so better start with the speaking, moderation, etc. And of course that doesn't mean that you should not speak. Wherever it is necessary, so there's nothing wrong in that. But that means unwarranted and that means not wanted things can certainly be curbed. It is just like, it is vak tapas, means the control of the speech is just like, suppose, in the villages, see, if a cow, that means generally what that cow has got a leash in the neck, the string that is tied as a person is taking. Suppose the leash slips off from the hand of the person. The village cows, they just run here and there and the fellow has to run afterwards to catch the cow. Immediate next thing is to be done is what? Hold the tail. Hold the tail. Moment you hold the tail, what is that? you can easily get hold of the leash and you can control the cow. So that's why. Maybe all of a sudden we will not be able to enjoy that disposition of the mind which is so serene and calm and composed. But if we start putting forth effort at the vast level, in course of time, certainly we can hope to gain that state of mind. So this is a very, very important thing. There are many other things, important things also are there. This is also one of the prominent things as such. That is, better we think about it seriously and take to the appropriate remedial measures. So that the teaching should not be waste. Of course, Swamiji is ready to accept the work. Any व्यक्ति says, yes, I have done the best. If it has not worked, okay, yes, it is a failure. But what can Swamiji do about that? It is left to each and every individual sadhakas to make the best use of the opportunity that is being given here. So that is, we should not be at loss. The loss will be ours if we don't make use of the opportunity. Neither the ashram nor the Swamiji. Of course, they will be pained, of course. They will be pained to, that means, oh, that proper use has not been made as such, but nothing can be done by them. Okay. I hope you will take this in the right perspective and derive, that means, and take to the appropriate and remedial steps to that effect. Oh. Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate Om Shanti.